We've all got them in our collection somewhere. Those movies that we may like but aren't exactly Academy Award winners, aren't exactly even nominees or even fifth thoughts about a nominee, for the most part. These are movies that you don't always necessarily brag about owning, but you may watch them quite often. In fact, sometimes you watch them more often than the ones that are the classics. I can tell you there's a few on here I've seen more than Citizen Kane, and I think Citizen Kane's a pretty great movie. So here we go with my top 15, or bottom 15, however you want to look at it, of guilty pleasure movies. Hey guys, like I said, these are guilty pleasure movies. Now here's the criteria I used to choose these. They have to be movies that I actually do own, not that I've just seen. They have to be movies that I don't plan on getting rid of. And they're actually movies that I will watch from time to time, and I have watched in many cases many, many times. And finally, of course, they have to be movies that aren't considered to be necessarily great movies, but yet they're movies that I'll watch. And you'll see some are more embarrassing than others, and some aren't, quite frankly, embarrassing at all for me. But let's see what you guys think. And in at number 15 is The American President. This, of course, Michael Douglas, Annette Bening. I actually love this movie. It's the first movie my wife and I saw together in the theater, so it has some sentimental value to me because it was a movie I took her on our first date to a movie. And I just really like the movie. I like everything about it. I like the presidentialness of it. I like the co-stars that are in it. I like the romantic plot. It's relatively believable. I like the little girl that plays the daughter. There isn't much I don't like about this movie. Yet, it's not considered to be a great movie by any stretch of the imagination. But it's in at 15. It's not in at number 1. Number 1 will be very guilty. But number 15 is not too guilty. All right. In at number 14, Howard Stern's Private Parts. I really like this movie a lot. He had the good wisdom to actually use the people that are on his radio show in the movie. And so that worked out well. A lot of them were on TV anyway because they filmed it as well as did the radio show. This takes Howard from his early days in college right up until his days when he finally broke it big as the #1 station in New York. And really funny stuff, good cameo appearances, great cast. And you can't beat Howard Stern for raunchy humor, but also, there's something to like about this guy. And so I'll put this one in at number 14. Hey, here's a little bedtime story, folks. A long, long time ago, in a movie far, far away, there was a character named Adam Sandler, and he used to make comedies. Not so much anymore, though, but this one was pretty funny. Happy Gilmore, of course, tells the story of the would-be hockey player turned golf pro trying to get his... I guess his grandmother out of the nursing home and save her home. So pretty funny stuff. Liked a lot about this movie, and it comes in at number 13. At number 12, Chris Farley, David Spade in Tommy Boy. Boy, I really like this road trip salesman movie that was made here. And, Chris Farley was a comic genius. Loved just about everything the guy did. What a shame that he died the way he died. But Tommy Boy is one way I'll always remember him. And he was just great in the role. And David Spade was great too. Those two played off of each other exceptionally well. It's hard to believe they could make that movie without cracking up. I don't know if I've seen a gag reel or an outtakes reel from that movie, but there's got to be one somewhere. It's got to be hilarious if they did it. Anyway, Tommy Boy at number 12. In at number 11, a little more modern movie. I love this movie. Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence, Robert De Niro, Silver Linings Playbook. He plays a divorced guy who's trying to get back to his wife. She plays some whacked out broad, but she is cute, and she carries this movie as far as I'm concerned, but he does a pretty good job. And Robert De Niro's no slouch. They together form a really nice couple on screen, and just, to me, shows that Jennifer Lawrence is one hell of an actress and probably is going to get better. It's not necessarily an Academy Award movie, though she won. I think she won the best actress in a supporting role or something, or she was up for it. But still, not the best movie you're going to find. But I just love it so much that I think it's more of a guilty pleasure, simply because I love it as much as I do. Yeah, and if I looked up on my own graphic here, I would have seen she won Academy Award for Best Actress. So there you have it. In at number 11. Hey, number 10 already. Time for another bedtime story, folks. A long time ago, there lived a little girl who was really cute and innocent named Lindsay Lohan. And she grew up to be a psychotic bitch. No, I don't know. But Lindsay Lohan was adorable in The Parent Trap. The late Natasha Richardson, sadly. And Dennis Quaid star in The Parent Trap. And it's just a really cute movie that I started watching with my kids. And believe it or not, I'll pull the darn thing out and put it in just when I'm myself watching it. So it really is cute. It's a great little love story. And it's a remake of a Disney classic. Disney remade it as well. But Lindsay Lohan's really good in it, I got to admit. And it's a cute movie. So I put it in there at number 10. This didn't get the greatest reviews, and it's certainly not the greatest Clint Eastwood movie I've ever seen, directed by him. But at number 9, Jersey Boys. I like the story of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. It's an interesting story. Love the music. And so I'm going to put Jersey Boys in at number 9 because a lot of people don't like that movie. And so I'm putting it in my top 10. The late Robin Williams, Cuba Gooding Jr., Annabella Sciorra. I never could say her name. But Robin Williams stars in What Dreams May Come. The story of a man who's died and who's in the afterlife, who's searching for his wife and his children who had died before him. And what a amazing visual movie. And I actually thought Robin Williams did a great performance in that movie. So if you haven't seen that one, check it out. In fact, I have an extra copy I'm going to be giving away at some point. But I like it quite a bit. But it does come in on the guilty pleasure list because it's not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination. I just like it a lot. The hills are alive with the sound of music. Yeah, that's right. The Sound of Music, number 7, guilty pleasure. It really shouldn't be a guilty pleasure. Everybody should like this movie. But it's probably not on the cinephile list of best movies ever. But it's a pretty damn good movie, and I like it. It's in at number 7 on the guilty pleasure list. Number 6, another one I don't think is really a guilty pleasure yet. I'm going to put it on there anyway because it's not a great movie. But Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, back when she was kind of hot, Romancing the Stone. Good movie, good adventure type movie. It's kind of an Indiana Jones ripoff. But I liked it, and I still watch it whenever I find it on, and I've put it on numerous times. Yeah, here we go, the guilty pleasure. Top 5. Deborah Messing, Dermot Mulroney in The Wedding Date. She needs a date. She hates to go stag to this her sister's wedding. It's her younger sister, so it's a lady thing. She can't go without a date to her younger sister's wedding. It's kind of an embarrassment. She had been engaged. It got broken off. He's going to show up there. She rents a date. She rents a gigolo, basically, to take her to the wedding. And, it kind of goes from there. Hey, what can I say? In at number 4, Anne Hathaway, Julie Andrews, The Princess Diaries. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this one. I enjoy it. That's all I can say, I guess. I thought Julie Andrews was good in it. I thought Anne Hathaway was good in it. And it is what it is. In at number 3, never was a fan of ABBA. Not a huge fan of musicals either, but this one, it's on an island. It's catchy. The tunes seem to work well with the story. I think they just work the story around the tunes. Meryl Streep is really good in it. As are a few of the others in here that do some singing. Really kind of surprised me. But Pierce Brosnan's not one that surprised me in a good way. His singing is wretched. Still, it's almost worth the price of admission just to watch him try to sing. Anyway, Mamma Mia in at number 3. Number two. Now we're talking. Yeah, 50 Shades of Grey. Well, I watched this one with my wife, and it's probably the only way I'd watch it, but I enjoyed it with her. It's not a dreadful love story. Yes, it's a different type of love story. Yeah, he's got his needs and wants and desires. My wife tells me that if you read all the books, that you'd be a little more tolerant of him. Apparently, he changes as life goes on. He will become a better boyfriend and less of a master to her. But I didn't really mind the master thing, quite frankly. So I don't know. Maybe it's like an anti-feminist thing. But she didn't seem to mind it. And was it realistic that she'd fall for this guy? Man, he's got his own helicopter. What? I mean, yeah, he's a good-looking guy. He's got a helicopter. She's apparently inclined to be a little bit, submissive anyway. So what the hell? I didn't see a big problem with it. But is it the greatest movie I've ever seen? Absolutely not. But was I entertained? Absolutely. So if you haven't seen it, I'd say give it a try anyway. If you're open to that kind of stuff. Has Dominance been done better? Absolutely. The movie Secretary is a better movie, but this is not dreadful, in my opinion. And I've watched it like 2 or 3 times, so how bad can it be? Well, here it is, the number one movie on my list of guilty pleasure movies, Sex and the City. I started watching the Showtime, I think it was Showtime, might have been HBO, I guess, show with my wife years back. And I started actually becoming amused by some of it. I liked the character of Mr. Big. I thought he was kind of cool. Well, this is a movie where they're supposed to get married. And, of course, nothing ever goes as smooth as it should in the movies, I suppose. And it is a comedy, after all, or somewhat of a comedy, this movie. It's a comedy. And there's a lot of side characters that are interesting in this movie. It's definitely a guilty pleasure. Probably not one I would watch on my own, but enjoyed it with my wife, and I've watched it I don't know how many times. 10 times maybe with her. So at that point, you got to admit, either if I didn't like it, I wouldn't have watched it 10 times with her. Would I watch it by myself? Probably not. But I still enjoy it when it's on with her, so I'm going to have to count it as number one. Sex and the City, guilty pleasure movie number one.